Welcome to another episode. Finally, another episode of Extreme Super Ultra Reviews. This time it will be Firewatch.
Fire!
And the person that played Firewatch is Foehamner, who's with me today.
Yes. This is a game I've been anticipating since I saw the trailer. When was it? When was the trailer shown?
Last year.
It was
middle of last year.
Early of last year. Like July or something, whatever event that was.
Yeah.
So to recap that trailer and try and describe what kind of game Firewatch is, my perceptions from the trailer were accurate. Firewatch is a walk-in simulator game.
Yes, it's a walking simulator.
Yes.
Thank you very much for watching.
I don't know if that name has negative connotations. I definitely don't mean it in a negative way. I just mean it as a descriptive way. So you're put in the role of a man who works at... basically, we have these things here in America where people can't live in these like ranger towers for a while, and they keep an eye out for forest fires so they can call them in so people can respond and put out these forest fires as quickly as possible because they can get very big and out of control. So these guys seek to prevent that. So the game starts off with you doing very mundane tasks like, hey, those people launching fireworks, go stop them, and you go and stop them, you come back. And the entire time you're in radio communication with your boss who works at another Firewatch tower. She can see you from her Firewatch tower. She has binoculars.
The lady is a boss.
Hmm?
The lady in the trailer is your boss.
Yes, she is your superior.
Right.
And then things get weird because she's like, just do that thing on your desk. And you're like, what? Yeah, I can see you in your tower. Do that thing. And you're like, I'm not in the tower. And the trailer shows that. And that's what hooked me really hard. Because there's definitely a huge amount of mystery and suspension in the game. Where I felt very tense. Like, a lot of the time. Like, what's going to happen? Like, there's just weird bananas stuff going on. And this is a spoiler free. I'm not going to go into any great detail. But,
yeah, it would be easy to spoil it.
Yeah, I think so. So, what makes Firewatch a great game that I fully recommend if you like walk-in simulators is it has a very nice blend of walking and you're doing things while exposition happens. So a lot of walk-in simulators like Dear Esther or Gone to Rapture, you just kind of walk around and explore, and that's a little bit it. In this game, you're doing things like tying ropes or scaling rocks or chopping down trees or whatever, and the dialogue is still interactive. You're given prompts to respond to the walkie-talkie lady. Like, if you see an item, that's when the prompt comes up to, like, I gotta radio this in. Like, hey, there's a ski sitting here. What am I gonna do about, like, the missing campers or whatever? So the pacing on the game is incredible, which is actually...
So there's a bit of interaction?
Yes.
Needed by the player? Oh.
Yes, and actually, I don't know, but it might shape the story a little bit, because you're given a pretty broad spectrum with how much or how little you want to respond to your boss's flirting with you. And so I don't know if there's different endings or not. There is a point in the game that seems to have... It is definitely based off of the decisions you chose. It's not like a major part, it's just a little detail, but it's definitely something that would change if you chose different things.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I'm tempted to replay it. It's the game took me roughly 3 hours to beat, so it's very short. At a $20 price tag, it's a little steep, maybe, but the production values are amazing. Like, there's a camera feature. Like, early on in the game, you find a disposable camera, and you can just take pictures. And as far as I can tell, this has no purpose in the game. The pictures are never used. That might be a little spoiler, I suppose, if you hoped the pictures would be used. But it was cool, just like, because there'd be moments where I almost wished there was less talking, just more, like, just walk from point A to point B silently, and you can experience the woods. And that happens a couple times, but usually, most of the time it happens, it's in a tense moment. Like, if you're hurrying, like if you think something bad's happening or you're trying to avoid it. It doesn't happen as frequently in a peaceful moment. Like there's one point early on where it does happen where it's like you say whatever you say, your boss gets mad at you, so she just hangs up on her walkie-talkie, so you're forced to walk back, but like the sun's like coming through the trees over the lake, and you're like, man, this is so good. Like this game could almost be a tourism ad for Colorado because it's just so pretty, and the sound, like one of my favorite moments. I can't remember what video game it was, which sucks, I guess, but I really like it in video games when if I just do nothing, I can hear sounds like wind in the grass and the crickets. I just adore that. Like 10 out of 10.
So the sounds and the visual is very immersive?
Very, very immersive.
So the visuals, I'm interested in that. We don't really know how to describe it, right?
Yeah.
Or have you found a way to do it?
I haven't. I mean, I could look up what they've done, but I mean, it looks kind of realistic, but maybe slightly cel-shaded? It's not cartoony. Your character, when you look down and see your arms, is definitely a bit cartoony. Like he looks very thick. Like what was that Jack Black character in the heavy metal video game?
Brutal Legend.
Brutal, yeah. You look a bit like that from the first person. So it's not.
Oh, okay.
It's
so
not,
like it doesn't, like the form does not look like a proper human.
Right. Well, it doesn't look like a realistic human, and you never really get a good look at other people. I can't say how much you interact with other people without doing some spoilers, but let's just say you never get. You can't get as clear a look as you can at yourself, and the nature parts look good. Like the trees look good, the bushes look good, water, sunlight.
The lighting in this game is really good.
It's a little stylistic, but I don't know, it's beautiful.
Does it blind you at all?
Yes, there's a couple parts, like you walk over a hill and you can't see until you take a couple more steps.
The lens flare style stuff?
Yeah.
What I want to know is not, how linear is it compared to other walking simulators?
Story-wise, the story is very linear. Like, there's not really decisions, like, I can go here or I can go here. In terms of where you walk, it's completely not linear at all. So you're given a map in the beginning of the game, laying out.
I see the map and the compass. So I was wondering.
So you're given that map in the beginning of the game, and like the first thing you do, so your base is in like the middle eastmost point of the map, and your first goal is to basically walk to the westmost point on the map, and then you backtrack to your base, and then you go north a little bit, and then you go back down south, and then back to your base. So you're doing just like little circular loops all the time. You're running around in this place, and it's almost a bit like a Metroidvania in some parts because you acquire different tools. Like you start out, and then you eventually get more rope, so you can start rappelling down cliff faces you couldn't before, and then you get the axe, so you can cut down trees to cross ravines you couldn't cross before, and then you get proper climbing tools, so you can. It's a little bit. I mean, it's still linear, but it almost feels like a Metroidvania in some sense, because you're revisiting places you've been before, but you can now go over things you couldn't bypass before.
Would you call this game innovative in the walking simulator genre?
Maybe. I wouldn't say it's massively innovative, but it has done a couple very small twists or slightly unique things that I think make it new in a certain way.
Would you prefer your walking simulators to emulate what they've done? Like non-linearity when it comes to exploring?
I don't know if I... Yeah, I'd say yes. I do have a slight preference for that. I wouldn't say I'd advocate for everybody to do that, because sometimes it's not feasible depending upon the story and the setting. But I think in general, stories that revisit certain elements, it's a good thing. It's hard for me to put my finger on exactly where the secret sauce to Firewatch is, but it is. I mean, it was like the most immersive experience I've ever had in a video game, where like I just felt really tense the whole time. It's just nice and relaxing in the beginning. It was a little sad because of plot points, why you're out there in the first place. But once the mystery starts unspooling, I was just like, I don't handle horror games well, and so I was just like a wreck, kind of. But it was good. I was loving it, because I'm like, oh, geez, I gotta walk back to the lake I've already been to. I saw bear tracks there the last time I went there. I hope I don't get eaten by a bear, like, so. This is really, really pulled me in quite strongly.
So how long did you take to finish this
About
game?
3 hours.
Is that on a longer side because you explored more, or
No, I can't imagine it deviating from that significantly. And
is it a good length, you think?
So at the moment I finished playing it, it felt like a very good length. Partly because it felt like 4 or 5 hours because of the aforementioned emotional state I was in, slanting my perception of time. Also because the game takes place over several days, so you go from day to night, and you just kind of lose track of the real time almost.
Interesting.
In retrospect, now that it's been a while, I do wish it had been for the amount of money I paid for it, I wish it had been a little longer, but that being said, with my walking simulators, I generally do like them to be playable in one sitting, because I treat walking simulators kind of like the way I treat short stories, where I like having my emotions being completely guided by the game. Like, it'd be jarring and change my experience if, let's say something really tense happened in the game, and then I had to go, and so then I come back, and so I re-enter that point in the game, but I don't have the same level of tension that I would have had if I'd been continuously playing. So 3 hours is a good length from that perspective, because 4 hours is a little long to, do something continuously. You need bio breaks and whatnot.
Yeah, to me, because it's very, like my walking simulators, I think 3 hours is like tops for me as well, because it just feels very draining to play such a game for so long. I'm
totally.
Not sure if
Dear Esther was way shorter than I thought. I thought Dear Esther was really long, but it says I've only played it for 79 minutes. And that might have been like 2 run-throughs.
But of course, certain games like Dear Esther, which a lot of people disliked, could have felt longer because it was so...
The pacing, like Dear Esther, one thing I love in Firewatch is there's a sprint button.
Yes, that's good to know.
I appreciate it quite a bit. Unfortunately, the sprint buttons are, and the shift button is your walkie-talkie. So in my LP, you frequently see me just very quickly pull my walkie-talkie out and put it away as I tap shift before remembering it's R.
Okay, can you bind the keys? Can you rebind them?
Probably.
Okay.
I didn't look into it, though. I was streaming it, so I didn't want to mess with it during.
Okay, so yeah, it's $20 for a 3-hour walking simulator.
But it's
sounds
an amazing,
a bit steep, right?
Maybe.
But
it's a really, really good experience. Everyone I know who's played it has loved it. For all 2 people other than me.
So last year your top 10 games had Magic Circle, which was another walking simulator. Right?
What? Magic Circle absolutely had gameplay in it. It had puzzles and stuff.
Oh, so there's more a little bit of like Portal?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it wasn't... So Portal's a series of puzzles. Magic Circle was open world. So you had to kind of figure out, like, I gotta take this from here and use it over here kind of thing.
So do you think Firewatch will be in your 2016 top 10?
I do. It'll be hard for another game to compete with it in the same way, because like obviously the strongest thing it's going for it is the story. A game that makes me feel emotions is something I covet, and this game definitely did. And it's uncommon for other games to... It'd be uncommon for more than one other game to reach that same level of resounding with me as Firewatch did.
So you're gonna have the entire game on your channel, right?
Yes.
How many parts are you breaking that up into?
About 9. 20-minute parts.
20 minutes? Alright. Yeah. I'm gonna binge.
You're gonna wait for it all to come out and then binge it? I think that's probably good.
Maybe.
Or you can go on my Twitch channel and watch the whole thing, probably. I think it's archived in one massive stream.
Oh, nice. But Twitch doesn't run well for me, though. Like YouTube does.
So
you highly recommend?
I completely recommend this game. Obviously, if you don't like walking simulators, it's probably not worth your time. I mean, it's such
It's not
a
gonna
good
change
one.
your perception of walking simulator.
It might. I don't
It might,
know.
okay.
I don't know what your particular hang-ups. Not you, Char, but I mean, you listener.
Yeah,
Not, if
you
assuming,
people
assuming you
listening.
hate walking simulators, I don't know what the reasons are. This might change that, because you do. I mean, while it is just walking, or there's no puzzles or gameplay. You do have to put inputs in, so you're not just completely holding like the walk button. You do have to like, oh, here's a thing. I gotta hit space to hop over this log. Now I have to pull out my axe to chop this shrubbery away so I can continue on the path. Like,
I'm guessing the map is totally manual. You don't see like yourself and a waypoint or anything.
you do have a "you are here" thing does show up on the map, but like you don't hit the
Right.
map and go to a map screen. You hit M and literally pull out a map. So you have to move the camera down to look at the map.
I like that.
I really like it.
I like how the UI is created, where you actually have to like look
Yes.
down at the map that you're holding.
And another kind of Metroidvania thing about it is there are supply dumps for park rangers throughout the game, and when you find them, they will have bits of the map in them with the trails marked in for you.
Oh, right.
So it tells you where to go. Although it's not, the only time I got lost, I didn't really get lost so much as it told me to go to a certain point on the map, and I had to wander around for like 2 minutes before it triggered. I hit the point where the game recognized me as actually being in that spot.
So do you think this is the best walking simulator you've ever played?
Yes. I mean, I haven't played all of them. Like, I haven't played Gone Home, which is a very strong contender, probably. But
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
It is the best walking simulator I've ever played.
You've
'Cause
played Stanley Parable, played Dear Esther.
Yeah.
Have you played Vanishing of Ethan Carter? Have you played that one?
I own it, but I haven't played it. I don't think I knew it was a walking simulator.
I think it is.
It might
I'm
be.
not too
No
sure.
idea.
So yes, Foehamner recommends Firewatch, a walking
very-
simulator that might change your mind about walking simulators.
If nothing else, it's a very zen and peaceful experience for most of it.
Do you think the price is a barrier to a lot of people?
I think for a
Can
walking
be.
simulator, the price will prove to be a barrier. But I mean, I definitely don't regret it, given how much production value is there.
Yeah, it's definitely
It's
it
definitely-
definitely looks like a $20
It definitely
game.
justifies the price. It's definitely not an outrageous price at all, but I can definitely understand if people...
The Magic Circle was about that
want
price
it.
too, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, about that, I think.
And it was about an
one
hour
thing-
extra, right?
Maybe.
About 4. Right.
Magic Circle has a lot of secret stuff to go back and replay if you want to do it. Also, it has a free demo, which is really nice.
Yeah, and it had like a few like voice actors that were
The voice
well
acting in
known.
this was good. Nobody I recognized, but it was well done voice acting.
that's good to know. Shitty voice acting just breaks you out.
Absolutely. I was trying to play... What's the new Sonic game? Or it's like Sonic.
Freedom Planet.
Freedom Planet, yeah. The voice acting in that is... I don't know if it's bad per se, but I found it terribly grating. I couldn't stand it.
Maybe because it's paying homage to like
I
the
think
campy.
so.
Probably.
Yeah.
Sonic isn't exactly known for good dialogue writing or anything like that.
That is true.
So yes, that's been the Extreme Super Ultra review of Firewatch, a must-have game.
I think
Basically,
so. Yeah.
I'm
definitely.
gonna watch Foehamner's LP of the entire game. So yeah, thank you very much for watching and listening. Go get Firewatch. Hopefully, it launched with a 10%.
As a pre-order, 10%.
yeah.
I don't know if it's still active. It's probably not.
It's still up. It's still up for
excellent.
for another 2-3 days. I think.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah.
We should have this up in time for that.
Hopefully.
I think we will.
So yeah, Firewatch, one of the best walking simulators ever made.
Watch
That's
the
pretty
trailer, and if that doesn't sell you, then you can probably skip it. But the trailer is very accurate, I think. It gives you a very good sense of what you're in for.
Nice. Absolutely beautiful game. I like the look of it, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you very much for watching and listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.